A freezing cold take by the United States polarizing track and field star resurfaced after Canada won the gold medal in the 4x100-meter relay. Then came the burn. After winning the 100-meter final at the Olympic Games Paris 2024 in a photo finish, the brash sprinter only took home bronze in the 200-meter final. It turned out Lyles had COVID, and even that was met with strong takes by fans, especially on social media. Then came another disaster for the Team USA men in the 4x100-meter relay without Lyles, where they were disqualified and didn't even medal. Canada took home the gold medal, and Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau had the receipts. Double burn in English and French. Lyles always toes the line from confident to arrogant and cocky, and that always opens him up to future freezing cold takes. This was one of them. The 200-meter final gold medal winner, Lyles Tebogo, had a backhanded compliment for Lyles in his post-game presser. "I can't be the face of athletics because I'm not an arrogant or a loud person like Noah." Lyles.
I think for me, I can't be the face of athletics because I'm not an arrogant or a loud person like Noah.
But any sport, especially one like track and field, needs personalities like Lyles. Also, the 27-year-old has overcome a lot in his life to become an Olympic champion, as he tweeted, "I have asthma, allergies, dyslexia, ADD, anxiety, and depression." Trudeau was excited, and then from there, it went viral. And for Lyles, if he's getting burned by the Canadian Prime Minister, that shows how popular is, polarizing or otherwise.
All I'm going to say is, don't downplay other people just because you don't like someone. Just go to the guy you like. But I appreciate anybody who has found respect for me. But to be honest, this crowd was amazing. This field was amazing. This is the exact field that I wanted to show up at an Olympic final.
But Lyles has made plenty of other enemies in the last year. Lyles Tebogo, the Botswanan runner who beat Lyles in the 200, deadpanned that he couldn't be the face of track because he wasn't an arrogant and loud person like Lyles. Canada's Track Federation trolled Lyles about his reckless trash-talking after Canada won the men's 4x100 meters. Spend 5 minutes on track Twitter and it's clear that Lyles has legions of haters. On the other hand, that puts him roughly in the 0.00001% of track and field athletes that have any broader cultural relevance at all. Carl Lewis, the polarizing world beater turned elder statesman of American track, intimately understands the dynamic at play here. "It may be a tough time in your life now," Lewis tweeted at Lyles after his 200 loss. "But your antics and talent are why they watched your race."
Yeah, it was a crazy moment because, like I said, I did think that Kashane had that. And I was like, oh man, I'm really gonna have to swallow my pride, which I don't have a problem doing. Respect deserves respect. And, everybody in the field, to be honest, came out knowing that they could win this race.
Most track athletes are happy to compete hard and complain quietly about the lack of money in the sport. Lyles, however aggravating you may find him, is drumming up something else. "Someone has to put themselves out there for all of you to get attention," Lewis wrote. The resentment Lyles feels about the absence of attention on track clearly runs deep. According to a time profile from this past June, Adidas nearly blew it with Lyles when they were negotiating his latest contract.
Yeah, I'm a lot better, There was quite a while where I was just underneath there, and at first it was kind of a lot, and there was just too much going on, but
The German shoe giant thought it was schmoozing Lyles by inviting him to an event for Anthony Edwards' new signature shoe. Instead, Lyles was wounded. "You want to invite me to an event for a man who has not even been to an NBA Finals? In a sport that you don't even care about?" Lyles recounted to writer Sean Gregory. "And you're giving him a shoe? No disrespect, the man is an amazing athlete. He is having a heck of a year. I love that they saw the insight to give him a shoe because they saw that he was going to be big. All I'm asking is, how could you not see that for me?" It's unclear whether Adidas can see a signature shoe, apart from a spike, for Lyles. Adidas did eventually reach terms with him on a new contract in February, calling it the richest deal in track since Usain Bolt retired in 2017. And Lyles has endorsement deals from Visa, Omega, Celsius, Comcast, and more. But there's an itch in Lyles that money alone can't scratch. If his visions of mainstream fame are to come true, he'll have to claw his way there despite himself. For the first time since his controversial Paris 2024 Olympics outing, Noah Lyles has broken his silence on the criticisms he's faced, the challenges of competing while sick with COVID-19, and why he believes he belongs among the all-time greats, akin to LeBron James. Also, the beef between Noah Lyles and the USA basketball team may have finally come to an end with the sprinter's recent statement. Or maybe it has escalated even more. Several NBA fans have criticized Lyles' words ever since he questioned their world champion's title last year.
And they have world champion on their head. World champion of what?
However, after the men's basketball team recently won the gold medal at the Paris Olympics, things seem to have mellowed down, so stay tuned to find out. Lyles, the American sprint sensation, lit up the Paris track by claiming the Olympic 100 meters title with a blistering new personal best of 9.79 seconds. This victory not only affirmed his status as the world's fastest man, but also marked the United States' first gold in the event in 20 years. With his eyes set on adding the 200 meters title to his achievements, his signature event, Lyles was poised to join legendary sprinters like Carl Lewis and Usain Bolt, who have dominated both sprints at the Olympics. However, fate had other plans. Just 2 days before the 200 meters final, Lyles tested positive for COVID-19. Despite this setback, he chose to compete, but his compromised fitness saw him finishing with a bronze medal behind Botswana's Letsile Tebogo and fellow American Kenny Bednarek. Following the race, Lyles revealed his health struggles, a disclosure that sparked a wave of criticism, particularly on social media platforms like X, where some fans even called for his arrest. In an exclusive interview with Reuters, the 27-year-old world champion addressed the backlash, comparing his situation to that of iconic figures in sports and entertainment. If you throw yourself out there, there's always going to be critics. I mean, you can look at anybody in history, Lyles remarked.
If you throw yourself out there, there's always going to be critics. I mean, you can look at anybody in history.
You can look at LeBron James, one of the greatest basketball players. You can look at Michael Jordan, Michael Jackson, anybody who you want to say is great. There's always going to be love, and there's always going to be hate because people are going to form opinions because you're now so high up there that they can't see you as everyday people of everyday society.
So you can look at LeBron James, one of the greatest basketball players. You can look at Michael Jordan, Michael Jackson, anybody who you want to say is great. There's always going to be love and there's always going to be hate because people are going to form opinions because you're now so high up there that they can't see you as everyday people of everyday society.
Lyles acknowledged that such scrutiny comes with the territory of greatness, adding, "And I knew that going into that, and that's just what it is, but I'm very confident in myself to say no matter what anybody says, I know who I am."
And I knew that going into that, and that's just what it is. But I'm very confident in myself to say no matter what anybody says, I know who I am.
On the decision to compete in the 200 meters final despite his illness, Lyles explained the mental battle he had to overcome. That's why people are like, well, if you were sick, why did you go out there and jump around? It's like if I didn't do that, I would not have been able to encourage myself enough to get excited to run the race, he said.
That's why, people are like, well, if you were sick, why did you go out there and jump around? It's like, if I didn't do that, I would not have been able to encourage myself enough to get excited to run the race.
I had to go in tricking my mind and my body that I was going to run just as well as any other day, but that's the only stuff a champion would know.
I had to go in tricking my mind and my body that I was going to run just as well as any other day as I was going to run that. But that's the only stuff a champion would know. So.
After winning gold, the Team USA basketball took a dig at Lyles with a post on X asking if they could finally call themselves the world champions. This got the sprinter a lot of attention, and he finally addressed the win in an interview after his 200 meters bronze win. He began by clarifying that his opinion alone shouldn't matter when it came to declaring the team as world champions. That said, he had been rooting for them and knew they'd do well throughout the Olympics. In 2023, Lyles questioned the NBA carrying the title of world champions, citing how a tournament local to the USA doesn't represent the world. On the other hand, several international track and field meet and events could do that since participants from all over the world compete against one another. The sprinting icon's sole purpose was to draw more attention to athletics since sports fans don't follow around a lot until the Olympics show up. And while this statement got him a lot of flack from the world, it did end up putting him out there along with the sport. There was a ton of countries out there who said, hey, we're not lying down just because we don't play in the NBA. We have cohesion. We have our own way of playing the game.
There was a ton of countries out there who say, hey, we're not lying down just because we don't play in the NBA. We have cohesion, we have our own way of playing the game.
While the U.S. basketball team did dunk on him with their post, all seems well between the two parties. Lyles has come clean with his support for them and rooted for them throughout the Paris Olympics. On top of it, the discussion might soon dull down as track and field sports have attracted a lot of eyeballs recently. Fans who know Lyles understand his dramatic flair and his bold personality, which gets him in the middle of such scuffles. However, he has maintained that he did not mind the attention as long as his sport got into the spotlight. In the aftermath of his bronze medal performance, Lyles faced criticism from Tobago, who labeled him as arrogant and loud. Lyles, however, insists that his confidence is often misunderstood. Lyles' decision to withdraw from the 4x100 meters final due to his health concerns ended his Paris Olympic journey. As he looks to the remainder of the season, the Adidas-sponsored athlete is determined to regain his form and finish the year strong, capping off what has undoubtedly been a roller coaster campaign. Noah Lyles may have faced unexpected challenges in Paris, but his belief in his place among the greats remains unshaken. As he continues to push the boundaries of what's possible on the track, Lyles proves that the path to greatness is often fraught with trials, yet it is these very trials that define a true champion.
I'm a lot better, a lot better. There was quite a while where I was just underneath there, and at first it was kind of a lot, and there was just too much going on, but when I tried to actually stand up, I had to start laying back down because the fatigue and the energy was just fading pretty rapidly. But after, quite a bit of time, I was able to recompose myself. I was able to get some medication underneath, so I was able to breathe again. And then finally, we just, again, tried to keep it as light as possible, collected my medal, tried to, be as respectful as possible. I didn't want to get anybody COVID, so after that, I've thankfully tested negative this morning, so I'm very happy to be healthy again, but still slowly kind of taking it back. It was very shocking, truthfully, because I already had been wearing a lot of masks. I wash my hands and am very conscious of trying not to get sick at championships. So I was already staying away from people a lot because, I've been getting, run up on a lot by a lot of people in the village. So I've been trying to stay secluded as is. But I was, again, very shocked that I actually contracted COVID. Which is apparently fast enough to always get bronze. Because in my heart, I always knew it, but nobody wants to give you the title unless you win the 100. So here I am, I won it in the World Championships, and then of course, half of the world doesn't understand how track and field works, so they don't understand how that's how you gain the title. I'm like, well, if you don't want to give me for winning the World Championships, I guess I'll have to take it in the 100 meters Olympics. And here I have it, so now I am officially the world's fastest man. The funny thing is, I'm a numbers guy, so I'm looking at the numbers. Compared to all my normal starts, it's actually just as good, if not better, than my normal starts. But the competitors really stepped up their game in the first half of their race. I like to see it that way too. It was amazing, truly. I think this is one of the very few races where everybody in the race went sub 10. It was, 991 being last is freaking unheard of, especially even at an Olympics level. You have to step up on the day. It was a fast time. It's so close of a race. All these numbers, and as you look at it, it's like, yeah, I came out ahead of all of that. I didn't feel I was going to be caught. I felt that I was just constantly running. I was just constantly getting faster and faster. And as I got closer and closer to the line, I was just like, I need the lean. This is not a race where I can say I can just run through it at top speed and I'll be able to get it. I need the lean. And I'm glad that I listened to that, because if I didn't, I don't know if I would have won. I try to be a showman. Some people criticize me for it. Some people love it. Well, a lot of people. Apparently 80,000 people love it. and more. But the thing I always say is, hey, if I didn't do it, would you be watching? Definitely watching, and they're definitely watching, and they're loving. Whether I'm your guy or somebody else, they're watching because they want to see who's going to be the fastest. And that's what I want to bring. I want to bring entertainment to it. I know that just because I win doesn't mean that I'll gain fans. Like, I need to keep going. I want track and field to be known for just not just for it's a fast race. I want you to enjoy the whole spectacle of it, the entertainment part of it. Life still goes on, you know, just this gold medal and this bronze medal, they're very nice to have, but that doesn't mean that my issues in life stop. You know, I'm still going to be facing hurdles all throughout my life, and I'm very aware of it, but I'm always nice and blessed to know that I've faced those hardships early and I've been able to learn the lessons quickly. So I feel that no matter what I go through in life, I'll be able to continuously adapt and overcome any obstacles that I have. Always. I hope that they see that just because you're in a dark place now, it doesn't always have to be that way. And that even though you go up, that means you will also come down, but it's all about how you handle those situations. Yeah, to be honest, I got a call from the president a few days ago. As a runner, I don't usually see myself as somebody who's like, oh yeah, I'm trying to bring the country together. It's just like, I'm just trying to put on a show, but in doing so, sometimes that's all people need. All they need is a little bit of excitement, a little bit of hope, and if I can be that, then I'm blessed to be able to be that person. You never expect what comes with, you know, the championship. Of course, everybody sees the gold, but you never know what comes along with that. And I've always wanted to say, I want to be able to hold that to a great standard. When I win, I want to be able to say, yeah, I took it as far as it can go, and you know, hitting that call is just like, wow, here we go. It's really happening.
The situation can repeat itself in inside lanes 1 and 2 as well. In those lanes, the pertaining reason is the tightest nature of the corners. So, the middle lanes rise to be the most effective ones to keep an eye on the opponents on both sides. Right now, Noah Lyles is in the middle lane, and with him, another American sprinter, Erjan Knighton, will show up in another middle lane, lane 6. Ultimately, the much-cherished 200 meters fight is expected to be limited between these two sprinters. Their performances throughout the years speak on behalf of that. Moreover, their best performances in the 200 meters event stand to be side by side, taller than the others in the pack. Apart from that, the newly enacted rules regarding lane placement prioritize the ranks of the sprinters strictly to settle at the lanes. From that perspective, the lanes for Noah Lyles, Kenny Bednarek, and Erjan Knighton may raise some uncomfortable questions. In the semi-final round, Letseli Tebogo was the topper, while Kenny Bednarek followed him. Noah comes later in the third position, so, from that perspective, Kenny's positioning in lane 9 was problematic. He should have been placed in any of the lanes, 5 to 7, leaving a lane for Lyles. Yet the reality is different. Would this mistreatment boost Kenny Bednarek to go against Noah Lyles, all guns blazing?
Noah Lyles, what's the biggest difference between Noah in Tokyo and Noah in Paris?
I'd say it's definitely the joy I have in my heart. It's a lot stronger. It's not depressed, and it's ready to go. It's ready to enjoy time and energy and be in the moment here.
You're bringing us joy. How much are you enjoying that rivalry with Jamaica?
Hey, I'm here for anybody who wants to take the crown. Now that's what I'm all about, competitors and competing at the highest level.
Best of luck. Thank you.
Thank you.
Noah Lyles' controversial 100 meters gold medal race at the 2024 Paris Olympics came down to a photo finish, with Lyles narrowly edging out Jamaica's Keshane Thompson by a mere 0.005 seconds. The slow-motion replay showed Lyles' torso crossing the finish line just ahead of Thompson's, securing the American sprinter his first Olympic 100 meters title. While some argued the margin was too close to call, the rules clearly state that the torso, not the head or limbs, determines the winner in a photo finish.
Usain Bolt said that he knows what you need to do to break the world record, and he's not going to say it. I'm sure you saw that. Did you and your coach look at that, or you already know what you need to do yourself?
I'm gonna do what I'm doing. If he knows and he's not gonna share it, why would I listen?
And Kenny's world lead last week, he says it's going to last just for a couple of weeks.
I'm sorry, what?
Kenny's world lead in this 100 last week, he says it's going to last just for a couple of weeks till you go on the track.
Until New York. New York Grand Prix.
You have any time fixed in your mind?
World lead.
Okay.
That's all that's needed. What did I run last time I opened up?
Well, fair enough.
And what did I run the time before that?
Fair enough.
And what did I run the time before that? All right, then.
one more from Bahamas. You talked about them keeping the group together. You, Kenny, Harry King.
Yeah.
I mean, now you just talked about how good Christian Freddie is now. I mean, obviously it's going to boil down to the national trials and how fast you guys go on the line. Are you still adamant that you should keep the group together, or I mean, make some tweak based on how fast the other guys coming?
I was just looking that Jamaica is making a push to try and keep as many people as possible as wild cards, and I think that's a great idea because they did form some type of chemistry, even if not a lot, it's some, and that's better than none. And we as Americans, there's so many of us that are so good, you never know who's going to be on the team. So having some people that's on the team that are going to be wild cards that were on that Bahamas team, I think is very important because they have some type of chemistry.
The lane placement controversy at the Paris Olympics sparked heated debates about fairness and favoritism. Kenny Bednarek expressed his frustration on Twitter, stating he had never seen favoritism like this on a global scale after being placed in lane 9, while Noah Lyles was assigned the more favorable lane 5. Bednarek's sentiment was echoed by Andre de Grasse, who, after winning 100 meters bronze from lane 9 in Tokyo, admitted that the outside lane made it a tough one due to the challenges of limited visibility of competitors. The controversy highlighted the significant impact lane placement can have on a sprinter's performance and called into question the transparency of the assignment process. The highly anticipated 200 meters showdown between Noah Lyles and Erriyon Knighton took center stage at the Paris Olympics. The rivalry, which had been brewing for years, reached its climax as the two American sprinters faced off in the final. Lyles, the reigning world record holder with a blistering time of 19.31 seconds set in 2022, was the clear favorite. However, Knighton's raw talent and rapid improvement over the years made him a formidable challenger. The fact that both sprinters were assigned favorable middle lanes, with Lyles in lane 5 and Knighton in lane 6, only added to the excitement and speculation surrounding the race. The 200 meters final lived up to the hype, with Lyles and Knighton pushing each other to their limits.
No Olympic champion. The thing is that you embrace pressure so very well and come out on top. Is there a newfound respect that should be towards you?
No. If you like me, you like me. If you don't, you don't. I'm not gonna hate anybody that doesn't like me. But all I'm gonna say is, don't downplay other people just because you don't like someone. Just go to the guy you like. But I appreciate anybody who has found respect for me. But to be honest, this crowd was amazing. This field was amazing. This is the exact field that I wanted to show up at an Olympic final. Because if I was to lose to, any of those guys in the top 3, I would have said, that's well deserved.
Talk to me about the race though and how close it was and the time, a personal best.
Yeah, it was a very close race. I'm glad I had Oblique Seville next to me because I was like, I need somebody to put that pressure on me early. I know that in a lot of races he's been like 1 or 2 lanes away from me, and he's been able to get out just in the acceleration phase, and I've just been missing it. And I was like, nah, now that you're right next to me, I'm gonna make sure that I cover that. And then after I passed him, I saw Kashane out there, and I was like, just do what I do, hit my top end speed, let it work. And to be honest, I didn't know if I had it. I leaned, but I didn't know I had it. Me and Kashane were at the end waiting for our names to come up, and I came up and I said, I'm gonna be honest, man, I think you got that one.
Oh,
yeah, but my name came up, and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm amazing.
And you are. What do you take away from this in terms of your legacy? How do you describe it in this moment?
In this moment, I've waited a long time. I've seen Jamaicans dominate the 100 and the 200 for so long, and I remember growing up saying, when it's my turn, I'm gonna make sure that the U.S. is on top. And here it is. Here's my time and my journey, my moment, and it's such a beautiful thing to see.
Enjoy the moment, brother.
I thank you.
The victory was especially sweet for Lyles, who had faced criticism and doubts after his disappointing 100 performance earlier in the games. Meanwhile, Kenny Bednarek, who had been vocal about the perceived favoritism towards Lyles, finished a distant third, unable to match the top two's blistering pace. The result further fueled the debate surrounding lane placement and its impact on race outcomes. Being an outspoken character, Noah Lyles acts like a double-edged sword. He can build and also knows how to decimate things. After claiming the gold medal in the men's 100 meters, The 27-year-old sat down in the press conference sharing tidbits on the upcoming heavy battle on track. He started by praising Kenny and making big revelations about him. He said, "Kenny definitely put up a fast time at trials, and that definitely woke me up. I was very proud of him, and he is definitely not going to take how he did here in the 100 lying down." The reigning world champion said that his compatriot would shake all the dust from the 100 meters Olympic final and embrace the 200 meters track like nothing else. But he might face a collision. Speaking on his chance, the Olympic champion conceded, "None of them is winning. When I come off the turn, they will be depressed." Now, Kenny Bednarek's tag on him being the favorite might add a few more chapters to the rivalry. Let's wait for tomorrow. On Tuesday, Noah Lyles revealed he had tested positive for COVID. This was after the men's 200 meters final, where he finished third in 19.70 seconds. A wheelchair took him off the track. Lyles appeared for media duties wearing a mask, flanked by members of the U.S. team's medical department, but claimed he never had any thought about withdrawing from the event. USA Track and Field had made clear it was Lyles' decision to participate in Thursday night's final.
We have to start in Paris. It's been another huge night on the track at the Stade de France that saw such a dramatic 200-metre final. Noah Lyles, the man that everyone tipped for gold in that 200-metre, the 100-metre champion, was by far the pre-race favourite. But just have a look at this shot here. This is Noah Lyles off the USA, finishing in third. Look at the distance between him and the actual winner from Botswana, Lyles Tobogo. Absolutely incredible race. Let's get more on this story though, because there's some breaking news this evening that we have to get our heads around. We can go back to Paris again and speak to Miriam Walker-Khan. And Miriam, my goodness, how did this race play out? And tell us about the condition of Noah Lyles now.
Yeah, going into this race, Noah Lyles was a huge favourite after winning the 100 metres, and because of the fact that the 200 metres is his event. He did that long before he kind of transitioned to the 100 as well. He's got 3 world titles in the 200, and he was confident in that. He was hoping to become the first man since Usain Bolt to do the sprint double, and the first man in US history since Carl Lewis 40 years ago. And he literally bounced onto the track when they were announcing the runners at the start of the race. He looked fit, he looked healthy, he looked excited. We know he psychs out the other athletes a lot in races, but he looked very ready for that race. He got a good bend, but then he just didn't really transition off that bend into the home straight as well as we normally see him do. And like you said, it was Botswana's Lyles Tobogo who got that gold medal in a real shock of these games, I think. But after the race, we saw Noah Lyles being carried off in a wheelchair. He was wearing a mask as well at one point, talking to media. And USA Track and Field have confirmed that he had tested positive for COVID 2 days ago. This obviously isn't what Noah Lyles had planned. He has said so many times that he wants to emulate Usain Bolt and do that sprint double. And he's spoken so much about it in the lead up to this race as well. But he leaves Paris with 2 medals, one in the 100, that gold, and this bronze medal in the 200 metres. But there will be questions now over whether he should have run that race today, having known for 2 days that he's got COVID. People ask that, and USA Track and Field have said it was his choice.
Lyles, the freshly crowned Olympic 100 meters champion, was unable to keep pace with the gold medalist, Botswana's Lyles Tobogo, 19.46, or his U.S. teammate Kenneth Bednarik, 19.62, who took silver. Lyles' appearance in a wheelchair immediately drew speculation about his medical condition. The 27-year-old soon clarified his situation. "I do have COVID," Lyles said. "I tested positive around 5 a.m. on Tuesday. I woke up feeling chills, aching, sore throat. Those were a lot of the symptoms I have had before getting COVID. I was like, I need to test this one. It came back positive, so we quickly quarantined in a hotel near the village, and they got me on as much medication as they legally could to make sure my body was able to keep the momentum going. I still wanted to run. They said it was still possible, so we stayed away from everybody and took it round by round. I have definitely had better days, but I am walking around again. I was quite lightheaded after that race, and the chest pain was definitely active. After a while, I was able to catch my breath and get my wits about me. I am feeling a lot better now. It definitely affected my performance." In a statement, USA Track and Field said, Our primary commitment is to ensure the safety of Team USA athletes while upholding their right to compete. After a thorough medical evaluation, Noah chose to compete tonight. We respect his decision and continue to monitor his condition closely. The Paris Olympics has no mandatory rules relating to COVID and participation, meaning Lyles was within his rights to take to the start line. COVID has been a lingering feature of the Games, having affected Australian water polo players and swimmers from various nations, including Britain's Adam Peaty. Lyles answered a firm no when asked whether withdrawing from the 200 meters was ever a consideration.